Okay, so good afternoon, everybody. My name is Ben Stykuc, and today for Asian Movie Pulse interviews, I have the privilege of speaking to the creative team behind the new Malaysian action movie Walid. I have with me here today, make sure I get my pronunciations correct, Areel Abu Bakar.
Yeah. Hi there.
Thank you. And Megat Sharizal.
Yes.
Lovely. So really want to sort of start off with on there and talking about Walid itself. The subject of child trafficking really drives the narrative. It's a very sort of serious topic. I just really want to ask, was it something in particular you wanted to highlight, and how did you sort of come about creating the movie?
I want to highlight the humanity side because today now is very in critical situation. Humanity is related to the basic ethics derived from the human condition. Humanity differs from justice in that there is a level of towards individual include in humanity more than justice found in justice. That's for that.
Okay, thank you.
The second one I should to highlight about education in the only ways to improve their life in future. The kids Walid come and like for them to change how to be a good person in life. So I have two vision for this movie.
And it's very clear with the education side, that first half, with Walid sort of teaching and the issue of the immigrants and the underprivileged children on there. It's a very strong message that you're trying to get across.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I see that Walid's really starting to make an impact at festivals. You're in New York at the moment, as I believe on there, and the film is showing there. Did you expect this level of success and interest in your film?
Saya soalan yang benda festival tu. Ada expect tak? Apa?
I just doing what I want to do, not because festival or making profit. This is our contribution for our people, and it's a festival is just a bonus if they interested for we all to come for festival.
Thank you. And this one is for you specifically, Areel. Was it a deliberate choice in your film to sort of split it into two? The first half's very dramatic. You're looking at all the social drama, and then we have the action.
I'm just focused for the story for 1 hour, first 1 hour, because my I just to what do you call sampai mission for this film. I don't want to expose on an action only, and this our small contribution for our people. I want to narrate people to feel the vibe for first hour, exploding into an action half time, because this is what I feel to against human trafficking. If I got the chance to kick ass of the crook, so what you see in the film is what I'm want to do. And I this for symbol for fighting human trafficking, still not the end. So the fighting scene is more on I think is symbol how people still fight and fight and fight and fight.
No, and I think it definitely shows in that first half. You're sort of building the drama. You're building that relationship with the characters. So you have empathy for the characters. You understand the situation before it all explodes. So, okay. And for Megat, it's a challenging role for you, because first half is very sort of dramatic. You're the sensitive teacher sort of teaching all people to read and write, the importance of that, and then you sort of explode into this Avenger in the second half. It's very like a Jekyll and Hyde role. How did that feel? Was it a difficult transition? Did you find it hard to switch between the two parts of the character?
Well, actually, okay, before we go into that, I just want to tell you one secret. I personally haven't watched the film yet.
Okay, no spoilers for me then. Okay.
He won't let me. He wants me to watch it in the cinema. So I'll be watching it on Friday. But as far as the character and the story goes, for this for Walid himself, I think this is the kind of role I think I've been preparing for almost 2 decades of my career. I mean, before I acted in Gran, I have actually never used my martial arts background in a film or on screen before, which is ironic because there's not a lot of actors in Malaysia who has Silat background, especially. And then when it comes to when I was offered, when I got the role, and this time around, we can see the difference from Gran to Walid. Walid is more character-driven, more, and then which is why I think my experience as both as an actor plays the role for me to switch between these two characters. One part is the actor, and the other part is the martial artist. So I just need to gel it in between and knows which part I need to portray the most, and then of course the other part that I need to explore is how being a father, because I'm not a father myself, so that's something that I need to explore, and likely most probably I need to really delve into how this character, which has so many layers, so many what he's put in front is something else, and then suddenly what he's been hiding just comes out in the second half. It's just, I think it's not too difficult, but it's quite challenging, I think, for me. Yeah.
And that's, from an acting perspective, it's a challenge. The physical side, I imagine that was very demanding as well.
I chose Megat because the physical size.
Yeah.
I have three casts before I choose Megat, but I think Megat have a unique physical for others, the commercial and cliche film like before. So I choose Megat because the physical, and they can act, and of course because they Megat can be a Silat fighter also, and the Silat fighter.
Yeah, and I think for me, yes, it is challenging because I mean, if I gotten the role like 20 years ago, that's a different thing, because yeah, I was 30 kgs lighter. And but I think the most interesting part for me is the way Areel cast the film is quite unique. He didn't tell us, he didn't let us know who's going to play who up until the last minute. Only 2 weeks before we started shooting, only I know that I was chosen to play Walid. I was actually expecting to play a bad guy. But so we were actually shooting something else in a few months before, and he told everyone, okay, we're going to shoot Walid, so everyone go training. So well, we all did. I went to a very rigorous training, stamina, all the cycling, and I lost around 5 kgs at that time. And then suddenly I got a text from him, and hey, please don't lose weight. which I was surprised. Why don't he want me to lose weight? Because he hasn't told us who's going to play who. So okay, I didn't expect anything. Okay, never mind. Just focus on the stamina. I can continue eating. Yeah. So when going into the action side of the film, I think although I wasn't in my really top fitness, but it still wasn't very challenging because I had that time to train. But yeah, I mean, there's some certain parts that when we were filming, that certain parts that when he asked something and I told him, if you asked me to do that 20 years ago, I'll do it. But now it's just sometimes you just think of it, the damage can be long term. So certain things, it might be a bit, we can try to work around it rather than go back. But still, it is again, like I said, almost 20 years in the industry. Never once I used my martial arts skill. This was the second time after Geran, and because Geran was only a little bit, and it was quite full and rigorous. And the other challenge for us was because we were filming during the pandemic. That was because, yeah, that was the tough challenges that we had to face during filming.
And how do you feel the director not telling you which part you were playing on there till you turn up? Was that quite a surprise, or is it?
Well, everyone was surprised. I mean, he announced it in the group. So, I mean, I think there was some who were really like, is this real? is this final? Because even when we went to our script reading, everyone was reading script. I was reading Walid. Fina, who played Kinang, after the read, she asked again, so who's playing Walid? After we read, everyone was reading the role. After the reading, she asked again, so Areel, who's playing Walid? And everyone was like, duh. So it's a big surprise to everyone. Yeah.
It sounds like reverse casting. It's like we'll cast the whole crew and then we'll decide who we're going to get afterwards who we want to play the parts. And so, speaking of Silat, the martial arts itself, on there, it's obviously heavily featured. That entire sort of second half is basically a sort of showcase for the martial art. When it came to portraying it on screen, is there any sort of particular challenges of showing the martial art?
Challenge Silat.
This moment, I think we use the small camera, and I don't think it's got a heavy challenge because we have the storyboard in my mind, in shot by shot. Never do fighting more and five takes, below 5 takes for action, because the martial artists also have stamina, and we avoid to injure. And this is I think I'm lucky because I have a full team, very tough, and have a good training to involve in my movie.
Yeah, I think to put Silat on screen wasn't very a huge challenge, because everyone who has a fight scene in the film, everyone has a Silat background. everyone. I mean, each for even the small roles.
99%.
99%
is martial artists.
Martial artists. So it's so when doing the choreography, it's easier to work with them. I mean, with work, even my fight partners, it wasn't. I mean, they are world champions. So it's just a matter of just putting things together, and then I think and then we also apart from just Silat, actually we tried to vary it a little bit from Geran. Geran was like totally 100% Silat. This one like Yakpat, Fat Anwar combine Silat with
Muay Thai.
Muay Thai. And I mean, personally, I even my stance wasn't really like Silat stance. I tried to put it more into combat situation type of stance. So it's not like, it's more practical rather than just focusing on style.
Dance.
Yeah. So I think everyone has their input on how to enhance their own characters.
Yeah, because I was watching it, and the action direction, it really focuses on the impact of the arts. It's a very brutal martial arts on that bit. Lots of dislocations, lots of elbows, etc. Being dislocated on there. It's a very physical martial art, and you kind of answered the question I was going to ask actually on that bit about choosing how you portray the style, and was it sort of deliberate choices, and it's sort of different sort of flourishes, bring a bit of Muay Thai, different kind of place that make it more cinematic.
Yes.
I suppose with those. Did you have any influences when making this? Was there any other sort of filmmakers that you thought, oh, I'd like to maybe imitate that or use some of their kind of style when making the action cinema?
I love Hong Kong movie. The fight sequence is very arts, and I think is Donnie Yen is my reference for martial art choreography. And I told my action choreographer to create the action without remove silat
Silat influences.
silat style.
Yeah. Okay.
Silat style. So then we work together and plan the character. Every character is a different movement and different weapon we use for upgrade from Grand.
Yeah. Soalan dia. Influence. Okay, so for me personally, I think as someone who grew up in the 80s and 90s, definitely I think it's the Hong Kong cinema, especially for me myself, it's Jackie Chan, how his influence towards the action cinema throughout the world, not just Asia, I think was just huge. So, and then of course, when coming into this film, when Areel chose me as I am now, I referred a lot to how Sammo Hung, how he portrays his how he acts. I mean, I did watch his films, because he's such a figure in the 80s to break through what was the stereotype of an action hero at that time. So I think that's a good reference for me on how he carries himself, an action hero does not need to be like muscle all the time. So that's how I try to portray the character. How I mean, he is for me is a big influence in portraying Walid.
And I think that can definitely see that, I think, on that bit. And obviously, because when Samo punches, you know you've been punched. He very much has a very powerful screen presence on that bit. And when you go into those moves, it's very clearly there's, yeah, that person's not getting up again. That's very much evident with that. So it's always interesting to see the different styles that people sort of remember from their youth and bring them into sort of cinema on that, even subconsciously. So, and really also for a final sort of question from me, obviously, about Walid is really sort of showcasing Malaysian cinema and getting obviously the word out of Malaysian cinema on there. So, any thoughts about its influence or Malaysian cinema in general, like where you'd like it to go, or the future, and really any ideas about what's next for you two? All of the questions there.
While he thinks, I'll just answer first.
Okay.
I think this film, Walid, really showcases what Malaysian cinema is, because I think one is the issue. The issue is something that is, although worldwide it's ongoing, but it's actually quite serious in Malaysia, how this syndicate is still running around, and then we are portraying this, and this issue in Malaysian cinema has not been really portrayed a lot. I don't think I remember a film showcases this issue as I can recall. But other than that, the location, even the characters, the dialect, it's not the typical urban setting in Kuala Lumpur or something like that, but because this showcases a town which is near border, a border town, which is again something that is not a lot being portrayed, but still it's a Malaysian. It represents what Malaysia faces, and then the characters, I think, is quite Malaysian, and it shows different layers that we've never seen that side of. And I think yeah, and then what's next, I think he's gonna tell you what's next.
What's next? Maybe I will prepare for next movie, an action movie. The title is Brother. Yeah.
Okay. And has Megat got a role, or has he got to wait to find out next time on that?
Yeah.
Have to ask.
Yeah. He's not gonna reveal the surprise yet.
Yeah, you have to. You'll get the script at some point. You have to wait. Okay, on that. But no, I think Walid is a really good.
Finish, yeah. The script is not complete.
Okay. So make sure Megat gets it, I think, on there. We'll be waiting for an eye on that. But no, but I think Walid is a really good introduction to Malaysian cinema, as you said on there. You get an idea of the culture.
Yeah, the culture.
The whole idea of the culture on that bit, and the teachings, the Quran and so forth on that, but understanding the differences and the different layers that we see with the immigration and stuff. So it's a good insight to learn about Malaysian culture, but then you get all the action to draw the audience in, and then sort of come for the action, stay for the story. Kind of thing on there. So it's absolutely fascinating movie to watch, and I really hope that it is successful for both of you, and obviously it's a good launch for Malaysian cinema. So so once again, to say thank you ever so much for your time, gentlemen. Absolute privilege to interview you both on that bit. It's been very entertaining.
Yeah.
on there. And so all the best in New York. Hope it is successful, and very much for the best for the future, and look forward to watching more movies that you two put together.
Thank you, Ben.
Thank you, Ben.
Thank you, Ben. Yeah.